Welcome to Story Guy, where I get bully from a fat bully. I used to work in the business office for a huge medical clinic. There was one girl who was the manager's secretary. She was really petite, very pretty, and a little Southern belle. She was the darling of the office. But she was a cunt bully. She made fun of everyone who was overweight, too. Their faces, in front of everyone. I had just had my daughter, and she was relentless. When I went to McDonald's for lunch one day, you should have gotten a salad, for crying out loud, piggy. Because she was the prima donna in the office, and the head of HR was her mom's BFF. Nothing ever happened to her. Fast forward years later. Took my nephew to a birthday party this weekend. She was there with her 3 kids. Turns out that 5 marriages and 3 kids have not been good to her. She is pushing 300 pounds on a 5'3" frame. She looks hit. Those good looks up and left a decade or 2 ago. She saw me and her jaw dropped. She said in the fakest voice and smile she could muster, "You look so pretty. I had no idea you were that pretty. You are so tiny." I just smiled and said, "Yeah, I know," and walked away. I got immense satisfaction watching this bully waddling around. In the heat, even her nose got fat. Not saying anything else to her the whole day was really making her uncomfortable. I can't keep having the same fights with him anymore. My 28F husband, Jake 35M, and I had a really big fight last night. It started innocuously enough, because I wanted to clean up the house a little bit before going to bed, and I told him to stay and relax on the couch and play his Zelda game. But there was a big clear bag of recycling on the living room floor that he was going to take out before going to work tomorrow. For context, we live on a 3rd floor walk up. I mentioned that I was going to put the recycling cardboard box outside our front door so the house would look less cluttered. I only mentioned this because I know he dislikes putting trash bags and recycling bags outside because it can attract bugs. But it was just for one night, and it was just recycling, no trash. So I thought it would be okay. But no, he insisted that he's going to take it out tomorrow, so it doesn't need to be put outside. So I asked him as calmly as possible, even though I'm irritated, "Why? What's your logic?" He proceeds to say that he just knows it will bring bugs or roaches to our door. I told him we live on the 3rd floor, and that even though it's already a hot Texas summer, the bugs rarely if ever reach our 3rd floor. So now, the fight has turned into who is right about roaches coming to the 3rd floor to eat a bunch of cardboard. I know, it's ridiculous. But we're fighting now apparently. He pulls out his phone and reads the first search article he sees about roach facts, and shows me the bullet point about roaches liking to eat cardboard. I tell him that any moron can get on the internet and write a bunch of nonsense. It doesn't mean it's necessarily true. He then proceeds to tell me, in the future if I ever say anything to him, he's going to ask me for my sources so he can fact check me. Then looks at me with a "gotcha" face. Now I'm fucking pissed. For the rest of the night, I'm talking to him, or rather yelling, and he looks down at his phone and doesn't say anything. Okay, fine, fuck you. Stay on your phone. I'll go to bed. He follows me right in, and I told him to go look at his phone some more, and I don't want him in here with me. The next morning, he tries to apologize and cuddle, and I shove him off. He goes, "You're still angry?" Fuck yeah, I am. We didn't resolve the argument at all. You just stared at your phone for 15 minutes saying nothing until I went to bed. Why the fuck would you think I'm not mad anymore? Eventually, we're eating breakfast together, and I told him I need closure. I need to talk about last night. And he tells me point blank that he got upset and annoyed last night because when I said I wanted to clean up the house, he thought I was making a passive-aggressive comment, that he doesn't do anything around the house. This is simply not true. He does plenty around the house. Most of the mess was my stuff anyway. I just wanted to clean up and put the recycling bag outside because the bag was sitting in front of my cabinet of art supplies, and I needed a clear pathway to it to clean up my mess. This goes back to almost every fight we've had in our 6 years together. He constantly misconstrues every fight and situation, cooking up his own scenarios and not letting me in on his way of thinking. He always wants to believe the worst of me, that I am passive aggressive, that I don't like to communicate, that I'm out to get him. It's incredibly difficult and frustrating to be married to someone who refuses to look inward, who refuses to analyze his own emotions, and then picks a fight at any perceived slight against his character. The worst part is, he says he wants to change and improve, but every fight it's the same goddamn thing every time. And I can't take it anymore. I am more and more unable to keep a leash on my anger. I think we both need individual and couples therapy, which he will probably fight me on. And it will take him another 2 years and some more devastating fights before he actually makes the appointment. Fuck. Relationships are too much work sometimes. You wanted to play mom, so she is your problem now. I didn't want kids. When I was a little girl and growing up, there was never a time where I played house or with baby dolls. When I thought about my future, kids were not in the equation. I've lost a few good men due to me not wanting kids. Once I hit my 20s, I swear I heard, "When are you going to hang up your party hat and become a mom?" And oh, you just don't want kids now, but don't worry, you will, a million times. Maybe it's because I had to become independent at a young age. Nothing in life is free. No one is going to take care of you. If someone does give you something, they can take it right back. You can't rely on others. This was and still is my mindset. My biggest fear has always been me not being able to provide for myself. I started working at 14 and never stopped. I was able to purchase a nice car and quality furniture. I'm a huge foodie and love to cook. Grocery shopping was fun. My sister, on the other hand, is a heroin junkie who can't afford to be one as well as a mother. A few months ago, her daughter Lex showed up at my doorstep in the middle of the night. My sister was arrested on drug charges and child neglect. I immediately gave up my room so Lex could have privacy and feel safe. My ex and I lived together at the time, but that ended. I've been sleeping on the couch. Expenses have only gotten higher while my income decreased. One kid is expensive. My fridge and pantry is basically bare. I have custody of Lex, but every time I try to get help, I'm turned down. Everything from trying to get her school to deal with bullies who took advantage of her to getting help with food or bills. It's always, you need her mom to be here, or be the one filling this out. Sure, I could spend hours looking to find her mom, but I can't drag her in. Her mom doesn't care. A few days ago, I contacted my sister and poured my heart out to her, telling her I need help. My sister's response was, "You wanted to play mom, so she is your problem now." The fucking audacity. Reunification was the goal. My sister is never going to stop doing drugs. I used to tell myself she just needed some space and to lose everything to get the wake-up call she needed. Except her. Everything isn't Lex. It's heroin. I had a mental breakdown last week. There was an incident at my serving job where a 10-year-old shit had crawled under my stall door as I was half nude, and it brought back memories of my SA. I relied on my daily tips to survive. It's been 100 degrees, and I can't afford an air conditioner. I just snapped and shaved all my hair off because I couldn't take the sticky, sweaty feeling. I love Lex. She didn't choose to be born. Get it? I'm not going to stop doing my best for her, but I'm fucking tired. I'm starving and hot, and I feel like a child throwing a tantrum and no one is listening. I'm slowly losing it, and no one cares. No one is going to help. All I hear is, "Aw, hang in there, things will get better, you are a great person for taking her in." I have horrible anxiety over not being able to provide for myself, let alone her. I found out my girlfriend is the biggest hypocrite ever. So we've been dating for almost 10 years. I'm 27 meters, she's 25F. In our relationship, I've had problems with watching hentai and downloading porn, following porn stars' social medias. She confronted me, and I just remember seeing her crying. I deleted everything and haven't looked back since. Fast forward 6 years, and she's on her phone constantly, texting, smiling. I'll be honest, I thought the worst, and thought she was cheating on me. She stopped paying attention to me, started declining my advances, and overall didn't show any interest in me. In a form of desperation, I looked through her phone, and saw she was using those fucking AI chats to sext AI versions of her favorite YouTubers. I'm talking in-depth romance, sex, and vague cuckoldery style porn. I couldn't watch hentai. Hell, I don't even have an interest in it anymore. But the fact she could happily fantasize and write out her literally fucking cheating on me with Markiplier. I think what hurt more was the sheer amount of her typing about how wrong it felt to get railed by YouTubers while still dating me. This AI shit is fucking stupid. I want to break up with her. God. I don't want to be with her anymore. But the fact, it's 10 fucking years down the drain. The chat seemed so real. When she wasn't role-playing, she was genuinely talking all lovey-dovey to someone who wasn't me.